There are so many things that go through my mind when you ask me that question. But what I'm really fascinated about is that in the end, the two people who most strongly come to mind, although there have been many people throughout my career, are my father and my mother. So I'd just like to tell you a little bit about why those two people stick in my mind. And I'm sure it will be the same for many people in your community, that the strong people in their lives are their parents. So for me, and I don't think I really understood this when I was growing up, my father used to say to me, you should always ask why. And he still says that to me now. And I like the fact that he still says it now, because he said it to me when I was a young boy, and he continues to say it. And I actually think it's a very wise piece of advice, because now I've come to understand it to mean you should always be curious. You should do your best to try and understand other people. You should wonder whether things could be better than they are now, and that you're allowed to question authority and to seek an explanation from the people who are in power. And the more I think about it, the more I think that was had a very big influence on me, even though I don't think I understood it at the time. I think it's come to be something which is very important. Now, my mother also had an expression. She used to say to me, if he put his hand in the fire, would you? And I always thought that was a strange expression, but what she meant was, and I think this is also another piece of powerful advice, you don't have to follow the crowd. It's okay not to fit in. You don't have to conform to other people's expectations. You can be your own self. You have to find out who that is, and you have to believe in that. And I think that those two expressions also have had another powerful effect, which is that life doesn't need to be complicated. We don't need to say it in fancy words. There are lessons that people have learned through the ages that are still valid now. And if you can live your life by those simple rules, I don't think you'll go far wrong. So I'm so grateful that you asked me that question, because that is what came to mind when I was thinking about who are the mentors who actually influenced me. And I'm able to say that with pride that it's my parents who had that big influence.
I'm so happy to know. And I'd like to tell you why. As things grow and you feel, and I think you would agree, and this would resonate across all over the globe, as we grow and times have changed, kids now, children now, youth now does not value the presence of these roles and characters in their lifeline.
Yeah.
And if people like us who went through another age, another time where there's been a lapse in between the millennials and us together, and we took our own sweet time, you took your time to really understand the implications. These people, the ones that we have around us now, are not really ready to understand why not anything. Quite a lot. Yeah. It's more so like there's a glass ceiling, there's a glass door in between these two, things, these two people, these two entities. So I'm so happy to know a person who is not from this community, but this is what brings a human together with another positive human very closely. The value system of being a human and being mentored by parents, strong relationships, positives in their lifelines is a beautiful message for our youth, especially when WHO says it's 13 to 35 the ages for the youth. It is now more than ever important, I feel, Paul, for us to really feel the need of telling our children and the youth of why this is so important and why are these relationships so reflective with who we become.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, Zora. I think that we have to have respect for older people, and the respect that we can have for them is that they have wisdom. because they have experience. Now, that's not to say that one person is better than another, that younger people they also have their part to play, because they have fresh perspectives, they have enthusiasm, they question things, they want to do things in new ways. That is equally as good. Where the magic happens is where there is respect on both sides, from young to old and old to young. Then amazing things happen. But what we don't want to get into is a situation where there is a lack of care from one to the other, or a lack of respect from one to the other. We really need to see how both views are important.